back in the day, he goes, I fear nothing. He goes, I'm surprised I even made it to heaven. He goes, I used to hand out beatings. He goes, like it was coffees, he tells me.
Like, seriously.
So that was your dad that passed away. I gotta tell you something. This man is crazy on the other side when I'm connecting with him, because he's actually yelling at me when I'm connecting with him. And I'm like, sir, like, relax. Like, why are you so mad? He's like, I'm not mad. This is how I talk, Matt. He said to me. Is that true?
Yeah. All of them, yes. They're known for
like,
that.
Yelling, like, Matt, that's my family. Matt, yep, they're trying to talk to me. Yep, they would go to a medium to see me. I'm like, sir, calm down. Like, I don't need you to yell. And he's saying to me, no, that's how I talk. That's how I was. He goes, I'm not mad. I just talk this way.
This is,
I gotta tell you that, first of all, when I'm connecting with him, he's showing me that he drove you crazy here in this world when I'm speaking to him. Because when I'm connecting with him, he says to me that, first of all, he did not want to believe that there was anything wrong with him. That's what he's telling me. He says to me that he did not want to acknowledge anything that was going on with his health. He didn't want to go to the doctors. He didn't want to get checked out. He says to me, and that he fought you tooth and nail, even though that you were trying to do the right thing for him. Do you understand that?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
He says to
So
me,
true.
He goes, can you please tell my family one thing? Can you please let them know that the reason why I acted this way wasn't because I didn't trust them. It's because I was afraid and I didn't want to admit it. That's what he tells me. He says to me that when it came to your father, I got to tell you, he feared nothing here in this world. He shows me that back when he goes like this to me. By the way, is this your mom?
Yes. Yeah.
So please know that your husband, all right, is making me die, because when I'm connecting with him, he goes, Matt, he goes, please let them know. He goes, that back in the day, he goes, I fear nothing. He goes, I'm surprised I even made it to heaven. He goes, I used to hand out beatings. He goes, like it was coffees, he tells me.
Like, seriously. He was known for that.
He shows me him in the street and wrestling with people and throwing punches. And I say, he goes, Matt, he goes, let me tell you something. He goes, see all this shit today with the guns? Back in the day, we used our hands. We didn't use guns. He just said that to me. And I saw your father.
He was a boxer.
Wait, don't say another word. I'm telling you. He says to me this, and then he goes, I saw him go to his trunk, and he's got a baseball bat in it when I'm connected with him.
Oh my God.
Remember his little bat?
Yes, he used to carry a little one. Like,
he shows me. He goes to me, Matt, he goes, this came out when there was a problem. And I see your father, like, he was like the neighborhood police. Like, when somebody was having a problem, when somebody was having an issue, they would call him on the phone. And it's like he was in the mob. Like, I see like the cars coming up, and I see him having to go because somebody was having, I don't know who the hell it was, right? But I see this vision of, I don't know if it was his aunt or his cousin or who the hell it was. They used to call him, like, somebody was having a domestic dispute. They were having issues with their boyfriends, or I don't know if it's their boyfriend, their husband. I see this domestic dispute. And instead of calling the police, they called your husband.
It was her when she first met my father with her ex, and he came and handled it. And they were together.
This is your father, right? I gotta show you the visions I'm seeing. I gotta act it out because you're not gonna believe this. Your father, I see this vision of your father pulling up in the car. I see him getting out, shutting the door. He's like pulling his pants up like this, right, and going right into the house. He's ready to kick someone's ass.
And he would. He did. For my mom, for his, yeah.
So that's how
they got together. That's how they got together. Yeah.
Shut the hell up. That's crazy.
Literally rescued her out of the house with her ex.
He tells me, and I literally see your father like on the phone with people, like, yeah, that one's giving you problems. Put him on the phone. Put him on the phone. Get him on the phone right now.
It was like,
it's so true. I can't believe what you're saying. I'm like, my heart's pounding.
How everybody remembers him as.
Like, you can't believe what I'm saying. I can't believe this was your life. How about that? I can't believe what I'm seeing. You can't believe what I'm saying. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I can't believe I have to. Why? I ask the other side all the time. Why do I get to see this shit? Why me? Why do I get to see this?
I'm so happy you did, though.
I gotta tell you something. It's so funny because when I'm connected with him, he goes, Matt, he goes, I gotta tell you something. I was a good person, but I didn't put up with bullshit. He said to me, he goes, and I'm just happy that I made it to the other side. He says, because I gotta tell you something. He goes, even though I could kick your ass, he goes like this. He goes, most people liked me. That's what he said to me.
It's true.
Everybody. Yeah.
And I gotta tell you this. He says to me, Matt, I wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't afraid of people. I wasn't afraid of anything here in this world. I wasn't afraid of finances. I wasn't afraid of a car accident. He goes, I had no fear, but I did fear one thing. The only fear that I had was getting sick, he tells me. That's what he tells me. He says, because I knew that that was one thing in life that I couldn't handle. I knew that was one thing in life that I couldn't fix. I couldn't change. That's what he's bringing up. He says, and Matt, there were so many people in my life that died young, he tells me.
Oh, that's so true.
So please know that you're reading this all wrong, because you go back and you say, how come he didn't listen to me? I just wanted the best for him. And it was like fighting this man every day. He was so good. But when he got sick, it was like you were talking to a different person. Do you understand that?
Stubborn.
He said to me, it's because he was afraid. He was so afraid of going to the hospital or something happening and him not coming home. That's what he tells me. But do you know that he said to me one thing? He tells me that as his wife, he goes, Matt, please tell her that I loved her unconditionally.
He did.
And Matt, he goes, please let her know that I know at the end that we butt heads. I knew at the end that I was stubborn. I knew I was hard. He says, but I loved her with my whole heart and soul, he tells me. And you need to know this. He says, and believe me, Matt, he goes, I'm not here to brag. I normally wouldn't say something like this. He goes, but he goes, back in the day, I could have had any girl that I wanted, he tells me. He says, but I didn't want any girl. I wanted her. I wanted my wife, he says to me. He says,
it's true.
The one thing is that he tells me that the way that he rescued you here in this world, he waited for you to be out of that relationship. He rescued you. He pulled you out of that life to have a life with him. He says, please know that I am waiting for you in heaven just the same.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
So I'm telling you this for one reason, not because you're going to die, right? But because of the fact that he says to me that he wants you to know that every day that goes by, his soul is right there on the side of you. And I actually just saw him lean over and kiss you.
Oh,
He
God.
says, Matt, he says, please
Look
thank
at
her.
Sean.
Oh my God, I love this. He says to me, please thank her, Matt. He says, for the way that she always loved me. He says, because I have not stopped thinking about her, being with her from the moment that I passed. As hard as it was for you to go through that, he tells me that he's so happy to see one thing. He's so happy to see what an amazing mom you are to his daughter here in the physical. He says, because seeing you together is what makes him so happy and proud in spirit, because he's bringing that through.
Yeah.
I got to bring something up, and I hope it's all right. Were you going to have another child, but you couldn't?
Yes.
He brings that through, because he said to me we were supposed to have another baby. We were supposed to have another baby. He's telling me.
We struggled and we couldn't.
I know you couldn't. He tells me, and I actually see a baby child with him on the other side, meaning that there was a soul that didn't make it. Do you understand that?
Yep.
I know that this is something that you didn't share or didn't talk about, but he said to me, Matt, he goes, I have to let her know it's okay. He says, we both tried and tried and tried. We wanted another child so bad. We wanted a bigger family. He says, and even though that didn't happen, he said to me, I am so blessed. I feel so loved and so happy that we had the family that we did. That's what he's bringing through. He says, and I will always love you. He needs you to know that.
Thank you.
He wants to thank you also. There was identification cards that you kept of him, he's telling me. He's telling me about
still have them.
His ID cards, because he's bringing those through. And he says to me, Matt, can you thank her for keeping on to this? Can you thank her for keeping on to this? He's telling me.
I kept everything.
He says to me, Matt, he goes, I have to let her know that it always makes me smile when she goes through and I see her rummaging through my old things. Well, listen, I really hope that this helped you. I also want to call out one thing. I'm sorry, your father's making me say this. Oh boy.
Your father, oh boy.
Your daughter's gonna be mad at me for this. It's not from me. Please don't hold me accountable, okay? Your father goes to me, Matt, can you tell her to stop giving my wife a hard time? He tells me that you get so pissed when she talks about your dad, because you're like, he tells me that like she wants to like wear his wedding ring and like wear different jewelry of his.
It's true with certain things. Yeah, we actually have this conversation. My sister and myself to her all the time. He
says to me, stop giving her shit.
Thank you.
But she's all happy and you're pissed off. At least I can make someone happy here tonight. It's not me, it's your father. So please don't get upset with me.
Thank
We
you.
won't.
You made me happy.
Great being the medium. No matter what the other side says, I'm always the one that gets shit on. For some reason, it always comes back to me.
Yeah.
But listen, all I gotta tell you is this: is that I'm not here to filter the messages. I know how much that you loved your dad and cared for your dad as well.
Yeah.
But I also have to let you know that he's so at peace on the other side, and he just wants the two of you to be as well. All right, I'm gonna leave you with that.